Chapter 7, Sporting Day. Monica had been on the throne for 2 weeks, yet any hope of respite remained frustratingly out of reach. Caught in an unrelenting whirlwind of royal obligation, the young queen had scarcely found time to breathe. An endless procession of state dinners consumed her days, each lavish affair demanding flawless diplomacy and tireless composure. In the quieter recesses of these opulent halls, she received detailed briefings on matters of national security, her focus unwavering as she sought to preserve the fragile peace of the realm. Citizens came before her with stories of loss and pleas for justice, their voices echoing through the palace chambers and settling heavily upon her heart. Beyond this, Monica devoted herself to safeguarding the kingdom's prosperity. She forged alliances with powerful figures of industry, her presence serving as a steady symbol of continuity and hope in uncertain times. Her responsibilities stretched beyond Raybrandt's borders as well, as she cautiously navigated the complicated subject of foreign trade, weighing its potential benefits against the risks it posed to her people. Each day unfolded as a dense tapestry of leadership woven from duty, care, and constant decision-making. Rest and leisure were scarce. Outwardly, Monica handled her role with poise, her advisor's counsel serving as an invaluable anchor amidst the chaos. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, her relentless pace eroded her vitality. In rare private moments, she found herself longing for simpler days, yearning for the quiet companionship of Max and the fleeting peace of a life unburdened by a crown. Such thoughts, however, were little more than wishful echoes. Emperor Griffin's manipulation of time had left deep scars upon the nobility's trust. In response, they had outlawed time travel entirely, claiming to protect history from further corruption. Beneath this veneer of preservation lay a more self-serving truth, a desire to shield their wealth and influence from unseen, anachronistic threats, to ensure that no hand from another era might disturb their carefully secured fortunes. Even so, Monica discovered fleeting moments of joy within her rigid schedule. Certain engagements offered her a rare semblance of leisure, and none more so than the charity event hosted by Duchess Fitzroy. As a guest of honour, Monica was momentarily liberated from the constraints of statecraft. The event took place within the sweeping, verdant gardens of the Fitzroy estate, an idyllic setting where sunlight filtered through ancient trees and laughter carried freely on the breeze. Across the grounds, various sporting activities had been arranged, transforming the gardens into a lively celebration of camaraderie and goodwill. The day's programme offered a delightful quintet of activities. A 5-mile marathon tested the endurance of the kingdom's most determined runners, while a swimming gala transformed the estate's pools into shimmering arenas of grace and competition. Team badminton matches unfolded with spirited camaraderie and quick reflexes, while the obstacle course challenged participants demanding strength, balance, and resolve. 6 holes of golf, a game with a striking resemblance to Sveda, rounded off the festivities. As the day progressed, Monica's curiosity grew as she discovered the origins of the sport. It had been devised by a man named Gerald, who, inspired by his son's stories of striking spheres back through distortions in time, had ingeniously adapted a method once used to repair temporal rifts into a game of skill and precision. A wistful smile touched the Queen's lips. In Gerald's creativity, she felt a quiet connection to Max and to the adventure that had so profoundly altered the course of the future. As the event officially began, the commentator's voice echoed cheerfully from every speaker across the grounds, setting a lively and welcoming tone. With ease and charisma, they struck the perfect balance between informative commentary and relaxed humour, embodying the charitable spirit of the day and keeping both participants and observers thoroughly engaged. Despite the blazing summer heat, Monica had chosen her attire with care. She wore a white, sleeveless dress designed specifically for warm weather, its loose, flowing silhouette offering both elegance and comfort. Delicate lace detailing added a soft, feminine touch, while the breathable fabric allowed her to remain cool beneath the sun. For footwear, she sensibly opted for flat sandals, ensuring stability and ease of movement across the estate's uneven terrain. Practical, yet stylish, they allowed her to take part in the obstacle course without restriction. Keeping her accessories to a minimum, Monica completed her outfit with a tasteful necklace set with sapphires and emeralds. The piece added a subtle note of sophistication without hindering her movement, reflecting her preference for grace, tempered by practicality. Throughout the day, the commentators' wit and light-hearted banter infused the event with warmth and laughter. Their playful remarks ensured that smiles were as integral to the festivities as the competitions themselves, creating an atmosphere of solidarity and shared purpose that perfectly captured the spirit of the occasion. Seated beside Lady Fitzroy, Monica felt a quiet swell of gratitude and turned to her hostess with a warm smile. She sincerely expressed her gratitude to Lady Fitzroy, fully aware of the honour she was receiving. "Not at all, Your Majesty," the Duchess replied with gentle respect. "You've always had a fondness for these games, ever since your father first brought you here when you were only 7. At that, Monica's eyes lit with a soft, wistful nostalgia. Memories stirred by sunlit days and eager anticipation of watching the competitions with wide-eyed wonder. She had longed to take part herself back then, but circumstances and, later, duty had always stood in the way. Now, as a queen, that distance felt greater still. Even so, Monica remained composed, choosing to enjoy the moment rather than dwell on what it might have been. She understood that her role had changed. As queen, she was here not to compete, but to support, to encourage, and to bear witness. And so, she embraced the occasion for what it was, allowing herself to delight in the shared laughter and spirited energy that filled the grounds. As the games unfolded before her, Monica drank in the vibrant atmosphere, keenly aware that her presence lent a sense of significance and inspiration to the proceedings. Though her path had diverged from that of the participants, she found comfort in knowing she could still celebrate their efforts from the unique vantage of a queen who took pride in the achievements of her people and shared in their collective joy. Throughout the day, the commentator remained mindful of the event's charitable purpose, weaving heartfelt acknowledgements into their commentary. Time and again, they reminded the audience that every race run and every point scored contributed to something far greater than victory alone. It was a powerful testament to the ability of sport to unite a community in compassion, generosity, and hope. Seated just behind Monica, Lady Medici radiated vanity and thinly veiled contempt. Charity events had never held any appeal for her. She had attended this one for a single reason alone, Monica's presence. Leaning forward slightly, she spoke with unmistakable disdain. "Honestly," she scoffed, "must we really endure hours of watching commoners amuse themselves with these trivial games, all while being expected to part with our wealth to shelter needy children?" The Duchess Fitzroy turned to hear her voice, and immediately recognised its source. Lady Medici was always obvious, and her barbs were predictable. The Duchess was all too familiar with Medici's habitual insults, thinly disguised jabs rooted in her scorn for Fitzroy's marriage to a man of humble trade, a potter whose honesty and integrity Lady Medici found unforgivable. Yet the Duchess did not rise to the provocation. Instead, she straightened slightly, her expression calm and composed, embodying the quiet grace befitting her station. She refused to allow Lady Medici's sneering remarks to dampen her spirits or distract her from the true purpose of the day. With a courteous smile that revealed neither irritation nor defeat, the Duchess chose dignity over discord. She understood that the mission before them, to support those left vulnerable and bereft, far outweighed petty judgments and wounded pride. By remaining steadfast and gracious, she hoped to set an example, one rooted in compassion rather than status. Undeterred by Lady Medici's barbed remarks, the Duchess Fitzroy remained steadfast in her commitment to uplifting the less fortunate. Her focus never wavered from the true purpose of the gathering, to bring hope and tangible change to those who needed it most. Monica leaned closer to her, lowering her voice so only the Duchess could hear. "At least you married a man who loves you as an equal," she said gently, "not for your wealth." The Duchess smiled, her reply measured yet resolute. "My Duncan is a man of unwavering principles," she said with quiet pride. "He takes immense satisfaction in his craft and insists on earning his living. He would never ask me to rescue him from hardship, nor would I offer it unless truly needed." Behind them, Lady Medici seized the moment to indulge her cruelty. With barely concealed delight, she boasted of how she would deliberately purchase Duncan's pottery, only to destroy it, ensuring no one else could admire his work. Her amusement lingered, sharp and tasteless. Monica turned then, fixing Lady Medici with a look of cool disapproval. It was subtle, but unmistakable. The Duchess, however, refused to acknowledge the insult. She did not succumb to Lady Medici's bait, nor did she elevate her words with a reply. She recognized that true strength is not found in retaliation, but in exercising restraint. Sensing that resilience, Monica placed a firm, reassuring hand upon the Duchess's shoulder, a silent gesture of solidarity. It was an unspoken promise that they would not allow cruelty or arrogance to diminish their purpose, nor erode their shared values. In that fleeting moment, Monica's support was more powerful than words. It reminded the Duchess that worth was not measured in wealth or status, but in compassion, integrity, and the bonds forged through shared conviction. Lady Medici then leaned forward, her tone suddenly syrupy with politeness. "Your Majesty," she said, "I do hope you received the letter I sent. I was wondering whether you might care to join me and my sons on a hunting trip next week." She smiled thinly. I hear you're quite skilled with a sword. But tell me, how are you with a gun?" Monica replied, without turning to face her. "I regret that I must decline your generous offer, Lady Medici. I have more pressing matters that require my attention." Beside her, Gaius shifted uncomfortably. "Your Majesty," he murmured, "repeatedly refusing the invitations of noble houses may damage your standing. It could be perceived as discourteous and risk alienating certain factions." Monica stiffened, frustration flickering beneath her calm exterior. After a brief pause, she sighed inwardly and reconsidered. "Very well," she said at last. "I will join you." "Splendid!" Lady Medici exclaimed. "We shall be travelling to Starlight Canyon. I am eager to procure a few fine Gemron pelts." "I'm sure it will be thrilling," Monica replied dryly, her tone edged with restrained sarcasm. She resented how often her advisor's counsel nudged her into obligations she already knew she would despise. As the day drew to a close, the commentator's voice carried across the estate, rich with gratitude. They thanked the participants, the volunteers, and the generous audience who had come together to make a meaningful difference. It had been a day where sport and charity intertwined seamlessly, leaving behind a sense of unity, compassion, and the quiet joy of giving. And somewhere beyond the gardens, orphaned children, now assured of a new home, would sleep more soundly that night, wrapped in the comfort of knowing they were no longer forgotten, but cared for and protected